everybody, Caleb here in the Rosa String Works workshop. Today I've got a little bit of a unique one with this Cadillac guitar. Show you a little closer on the headstock and down the inlay. You can see all the Cadillac appointments on this one. It's even got it on the back, on the sides. This thing is in need of a little bit of work, and we don't want to sink too much money into it because it's really not worth all that much. The label on the inside says Esteban Eldorado, and then it says released December 2007 limited edition acoustic electric. You can see the bridge is quite a bit different. We're actually missing one bridge pin, which kind of stinks because these are silver and I don't think we're ever going to find another silver one. But it's got little diamonds on it. It needs a new saddle, and the neck is kind of bowed. So I'm going to start with the neck. I'm going to get the truss rod adjusted. It doesn't need a whole lot, but it does need a little bit. So here we go.
There are people who would rather live in mansions, people who would rather live alone, people who would trade God's promise for the glories to hold. There are people who would rather live in splendor and brag about their silver and their gold. But I'd rather have a little log cabin by the side of the road. I'd rather live by the side of the road and try to point souls to their blessed abode than to be a king or a millionaire and live in mansions in bright array. I'd rather do a neighborly deed for a traveler here or a friend in need. I'd rather live by the side of the road and help some pilgrim along life's way.
Well, you just saw me level, crown, polish these frets, and then I cleaned the board up a little bit. You can see the saddle's made. It's probably tall. We're going to try to get it down pretty much as low as it's going to go because inevitably this really does probably need a neck reset, but we don't want to put that kind of money into it. We're just going to try to get it as playable as we can get it. So my next step, I think, is put strings on it. I may clean up the top a little bit before I put some strings on it, and I'm also going to go ahead and find a replacement string pin. Now, here's something you might enjoy. These string pins are just painted silver. They were obviously white at one point. I might ask Jerry, see what he thinks on finding a new pin for this, and I'm going to get some strings. Well, I've got some strings on this Cadillac, and notice right off the bat that the nut is going to be too tall. I can very easily get this pick in here, and it should hold that. And no, it's not a pitch, but I want to get these down a little bit before I go doing anything else. You know, that'll help a lot in getting this thing playable. Inevitably, it's going to be a little high because of the neck angle, but most of that height is going to be at the higher end. So it should be reasonably playable in this area, and right now with the height of the nut, it's not.
Have a cabin by the roadside with a pilgrimage of man is passing by, helped up on some soul to Jesus in that city.
Well, Jerry helped me out here, and we've cut this saddle down as low as it'll go, and then probably a little bit more. But we've got the action down to about 100 or 110 thousandths at the 12th. So it's playable. and it's actually reasonably playable. But one of the things that Jerry noticed that I didn't notice was this has a really big bulge in it. If you can see me rocking this, there's quite a bit of bulge in this, and that's one of the other reasons that this is so much higher. The angle in the neck just isn't quite right, and then with the bulge it raised it up some more. So there's a lot of things that this guitar could have had done, but that wasn't really what we were supposed to do here. Just try to get it as playable as we can. And that's where we got. So next thing for me to do is clean this up. You can see all the... I already, kind of took a damp cloth and wiped it down, but we're going to polish this up now. So I was cleaning up this guitar, and I saw just how limited edition these were. You can see here, this is number 11,135 out of 25,000. So I guess there's 24,999 others out there. So if you really want one of these Esteban Cadillac Eldorados, sounds like you might be able to get one. After a little looking, they came in 2 other colors at least. One with a white top and a black side, and one with a red top and the white side. So, if this is your style, I'm sure you can find one. Well, here it is. This old Cadillac's had a little bit of work, and it's up in pretty good shape, considering. I mean, when guitars like this, when it's mostly for the novelty or sentiment, come in and they're really just meant to be playable. Someone doesn't necessarily want to spend what it would take to make this totally right. We really do try to focus on getting it as right as we can get it for the cost into it, and I really think we did a good job on this one, because we didn't spend very much time on it at all, really. But to do this, what we would say is right, you'd have to reset the neck, and that's a big job. And on this kind of finished instrument, you would notice really badly. You can see the finish, or the white paint really, is rolled up over this. There'd be a seam there now. I mean, it would be right playable if we had reset the neck, but that would have been, 3 or 4 times the bill. So really, I think this turned out pretty good. Since we were focusing on getting it really playable, I did make sure that the action down where you play the most is really good. I made sure it was really low at the nut, and it's really playable if you're just going to play your open chords. I mean, it sounds pretty good for a more novelty instrument, and I mean, it's a guitar. It plays like a guitar and it sounds like a guitar. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Also, please share this with your friends. Thanks for watching.
My friends, I've ridden in a few Cadillacs in my day, but I have never played one. I just get ready to put this in the shipping box, and I did a last minute little tweak to it there. We had to do some fairly non-conventional things to get this thing to play well without having to do a ton of work on it. We could have done a neck reset, we could have, done a bridge replacement and all those kinds of things, but the problem with that is this thing is styled. And when you start messing with that style, you're messing with everything. And you know, it's got the little rhinestones in there. It's painted. You know, so you start messing with all that, and you're messing with a lot of stuff. So, you know, in terms of the quick and dirty job that the customer wanted, we took other drastic measures, like cutting a bigger angle back here down to the string pegs, dropping the saddle essentially to level with the bridge top, and then digging out little trenches where the strings could, you know, still vibrate. And yet you can't really tell it by just looking at it. I think we did it as well as you could do it, and not do it, you know, the traditional way, if you will. I hesitate saying not doing it the correct way, because I do think it's correct. All the action's good, all that is fine, and it plays good. It's all clear. I've checked it all the way up and down the neck. Action is looks nice, and probably the lowest it's ever been, especially when you look at the neck angle on this thing, because the neck angle is not good. But the action is actually pretty darn good. I imagine Caleb's already told you what the action is, but I'm just going to double check it for myself. And at the 12th fret, well, it looks really good. Even better than I thought it was. It's in the 90 range. You know, it give or take a few thousandths there. It's in the 90 range. Real decent for as bad as the neck angle is. I don't know if the neck angle will show up there, but it's not at the proper angle. You know, exaggerating, the neck angle should be down like this. This one's up like this a little bit. It's definitely not level. But overall, as I like to say, for the shape she's in good shape. So, hope you've enjoyed watching the Cadillac guitar. Kind of one of a kind, at least from my perspective. I've never seen another one like it. I'm sure there's plenty more out there, though. Thanks for watching.